everyone, welcome back. Day 2. I'm Kelly and I'm with Kelly Hill Yoga, and we are on a 30-day journey to create your at-home practice. So from my living room to yours, welcome, 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 and let's get started on day 2. So if you could just come to a nice cross-legged or seated position on your mat. I'm going to go ahead and start our little breath practice that we did yesterday, where we are just becoming mindful of our inhales and exhales. Right? We're creating this little bubble around our mat because this is our time, our bodies, our minds. Yeah, we're on day 2, second day of the year too. Just to start waking up, inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bend your elbows, cactus arms, lift the chest and chin, waking up that spine, and repeating for a couple of rounds. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, lift the chest, slight back bend. Arms up and overhead. Exhale, bend the arms, waking up that spine. Just today's focus, we're just going to pay a little bit of attention to our back, our neck. So let's go ahead and look to the left. As you pull that right shoulder down and away from your right ear. Just feel a nice stretch to the right side of your neck. Slowly back to center. Take your gaze to the right, over the right shoulder as you pull your left shoulder away from your left ear. Lengthening all through that left side of your neck. Slowly back to center. And now tilting, so left ear to left shoulder. And we're going to reach out with our right arm in order to lift and lengthen. And lifting up through that crown of the head, right? So we're not just hunched over. Keeping integrity on both sides of the neck. Slowly back to center. Reach out with that left hand as you tilt your head to the right. We hold so much tension in our neck and shoulders that it eventually starts to travel down our spine. Just stress, especially last year. So this is a chance to start a new year, paying attention to the things that get neglected and releasing some of that tension. Let's just go ahead and lift our shoulders up to our ears, roll them back as we pull the chest forward, slightly bending in our knees, rolling them forward, up, down, and away. Really opening up each shoulder movement and roll. Very nice. Go ahead and do a couple of neck rolls from side to side. Nod your head, lifting your chin. Yes, it creates a funny voice. Come down. And on this next one, it's okay to stay here with your chin tucked to your chest. But if you would like, you can take your hands, interlace your fingers, and place them right on the back of your head, kind of where your cervical spine and the back of your skull meet. Right, so your hands are like this, if you guys can see. You're slowly pulling very gently, adding a little bit of extra stretch. It's really nice. To me, it feels awesome. But if this is too intense, too much, take those hands off. Or even just sitting here, continuing your shoulder rolls is quite okay. Like I said a million times yesterday, your practice, your body, your time. All right. Sorry while I adjust my mic really quick. Let's come to our tabletop position. So we are on all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, shoulder width, hip width apart. Rolling through our spine again. As we inhale, drop the belly, cow, chin to the sky. Exhale, round through the back, cat pose, tucking your tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, tuck the chin, lift the spine. So your belly button should be pulling to your spine. Just running through a few rounds of this, matching your breath to movement. So inhale, chin up. Exhale, tailbone tucked, spine lifted. This is just one of those things where it's great to do at the beginning of your practice. You'll notice I do it quite a bit, just because it's a good time to tell like where you're stiff at. For me, my hips really tight. I'm going to roll in my hips a little bit. Just waking things up, getting that spine moving. So just that forward, hunched over that we get so used to. All right, one last inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, roll through the spine. Back to neutral spine. Let's walk our hands out quite a few inches in front of you. So you're have a nice long stretch. And we're going to pull our hips back. So if you need to, you can kind of readjust. So the goal is to have our knees still under our hips and our arms out in front as we pull our chest to the ground. And if you're able, you can either rest your head on the mat, but we should be pulling. We're trying to reach that belly to the top of your thighs. Your chest should melt into the ground. And if this is too much in your shoulders, you're more than welcome to have your arms at your sides or just hang out in child's pose. But this is just a great way to wake up that spine, open up your chest. Slowly shift forward as you bend through the elbows. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Readjust your knees onto your hips. We're going to do some alternating arm and leg raises. So right arm up, reaching in front of you as you we're going to do some alternating. Reach your right, we're going to do some alternating reach your right arm up in front of you as your left leg reaches behind you. Dropping in the belly, you're keeping integrity in your spine and belly, not shifting any one way or the other. Nice inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Taking it to the other side. So left arm reach in front of you as your right leg reaches behind you. Simultaneously reaching for the front and the back of the room or front and back of your space. Keeping that belly button pulled to your spine. Integrity. This is strengthening that spine. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Back to a neutral spine. Tuck the toes and meet in downward dog. So our first downward dog of the day. So let's walk it out like we did yesterday. Straightening one leg. Bend the other. Switching sides. Hips pulled up to the sky. Chest or heart space pulled to the tops of your thighs. No tension in your neck. Pressed through your thumb and index finger. Strong foundations. Pose that you're probably going to do in about 97% of any sort of vinyasa flow. I'm going to inhale, reach the right leg up for three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose with control, step between the hands. Should be in a runner's lunge. We're going to pivot the back foot down to set up for warrior one. Rise up for warrior one. If you need, you can step that back foot up slightly to find more stability. So your back foot should be at about a 45-degree angle. Bend in the front knee, and you're pulling that left hip forward as your right hip pulls back. Let's add a little bit of spinal love. So if able, go ahead, clasp your hands behind your back and pull your shoulders down and away. You can choose to stay here for a few rounds of breath, or if you'd want, you can transition into a humble warrior, which is just shifting your torso forward to come to the top of your thigh, or if able, you can bring it below, just whatever your body will allow. Nice strong foundation. You're not crunching your toes anywhere. Integrity all through that back leg. Rise back up. Slowly release the hands. Inhale as you reach your arms up. Transition your weight to that front leg, so that right leg, and hop or step to a warrior three. So you will be balancing on that right leg, slight bend in the knee, left leg lifted behind you, hips facing forward, arms either out in front like this, or you may have them at your side. It's whichever you find balance. And notice how I'm not parallel to the ground. It's more about finding length from crown of your head to the tip of that lifted foot. It's not about how far you can get it off the ground. It's just creating integrity all through the back of our body, right, our spine. Slowly release. Step that left foot to meet the right, and we'll meet in Tadasana or mountain pose. So feet slightly hip width apart. Let's catch our breath. It's funny how much, just a little bit of balance can make this work so hard, right? It can be applied to our lives off the mat too, right? We try to keep so much balance, appeasing anyone and everyone. It causes stress and anxiety. But what's the one thing we can do? We can come back to the breath, refocus, realize what we control, stay mindful. All right, inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Find length up through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips into a forward fold. Nice slight bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, length through the spine, so hands on the shins or thighs, whichever your body allows. Right? Exhale, release again, so fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, so that means ground through your feet as you roll up through the spine, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms to chest. Very nice, beautiful. All right, inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, diving down, lengthen the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms and step back to plank. Let's go ahead and drop our knees. We're going to take this little vinyasa on our knees, this is just day 2. So we are going to inhale as we press away. Exhale, bend the elbows, keeping them tucked close to your body. Slowly lower all the way down. Ooh, beautiful. Slowly lower all the way down. Hands under your shoulders. We're going to come into a nice baby cobra. So keeping those elbows pulled tight to your body, lifting your chest, crown of the head, length through the spine. Squeeze your glutes a little bit to relieve that low back. Slowly release back down. Beautiful. Keeping the hands where they are, let's push back to downward dog. Let's take it to the other side. So one good inhale to make sure we're set in our foundation with down dog. Exhale. Left leg up, bend the knee, knee to nose, slowly with control, step between the hands. Runner's lunge. Pivot that back foot down to about a 45-degree angle. So we rise to a nice warrior 1. Thinking about pulling that right hip forward as the left hip pulls back. Staying strong in both our front leg and our back. Let's clasp the hands behind our back, pulling our shoulders down and away. If this is too much, it's totally okay to stay here with your hands on your hips. Your body, your choice. Keeping our chest proud, length up through the spine. Slowly with control, bend the torso forward to a humble warrior. This is a great shoulder opener, way to keep integrity in the spine. Knowing it's okay. If your body's not willing to do this today, that's okay too. This is your space. Slowly rise back up. Gently unfold your hands. Inhale as you reach your arms up. We're going to hop that back foot forward about halfway. Transition our weight to the front leg in order to come to warrior 3. I'm sure some of you might be able to become parallel to the ground. But once again, let's just focus on creating length from the crown of our head through that lifted foot. Hips are staying forward, not opening in that right hip. Slight bend in that left leg. strength, stability, breath. Slowly step that right foot to meet the left. So again, back into Tadasana. Hands at your sides, palms reaching forward for this beautiful mountain pose. Reconnecting to our breath. Once again, that thought of trying to maintain our balance causes stress. Controlling our breath inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, generous bend of the knees, root to rise, arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms to chest. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins or thighs. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank. Lower the knees. Inhale as we push away, separating our shoulders, keeping strength and integrity in them. Exhale, slowly bend your elbows all the way down to the ground, keeping those elbows tucked in tight. One little baby cobra. So inhale to cobra. Exhale, slowly release. Meet in downward dog. This is our last downward dog of the day. Remember I told you in the beginning, this is your time on the mat. Make the most of it. Slowly come down to our knees and meet in a seated position. We're on our backs, I apologize. I'm going to meet on our backs. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on the mat. We're going to show one last little love to our spine before we wind it down. So feet slightly hip width apart. Soles of the feet on the mat, shoulders tucked. Let's slightly tuck your chin to find length in your cervical spine, or AKA the back of your neck. And we're going to drive through the soles of our feet in order to lift our hips up, squeezing our glutes, squeezing everything to the midline as if you have like a ball or block in between your thighs, keeping your upper arms on the ground. You want to use them to drive your hips a little bit higher. We're going to exhale, slowly lower each vertebrae back down, tailbone last to touch. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that. So ensuring we're set up, chin slightly tucked, driving through the soles of our feet, lift the hips up off the ground, keeping integrity, squeezing those thighs together. Exhale, slowly release, roll down your spine, tailbone last to touch. Last one. Drive through your feet to lift your hips up, keeping your upper arms on the ground in order to help you drive if necessary. Squeezing at the top. So you're squeezing your glutes, everything to the midline. Exhale, slowly release. Let's do a nice little counter movement. So we're going to hug our knees to the chest. Rock back and forth if we want. Yes, thank you, body. Appreciating this time that your body just spent with you on the mat. Stretch our legs out in front of us. As we start to release tension with the breath. So on each exhale, I want you to release a little bit more tension. It should feel as if with each breath, you're melting into the ground. Turning into a nice puddle. So that the only thing active should be your mind telling your body to breathe. You can either choose to stay here, focusing on the breath. And if so, I wish you the best. Have a beautiful day. Let's slowly wake everything back up. Reconnecting our thoughts to things like our toes and our fingers. Gently rise to a seated position. Thank you. Thank you. Day 2 in the books. Check it off. Way to go. January 2nd, or whenever you're doing this practice. It's okay. It's your time. Thank you for letting me spend this little bit of love for yourself with you and let me guide you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all.